Hey YouTube, Tele Tuesday. As you see for the live stream, I looked out all my Telecasters, although quite disgustingly I do actually have another two. I don't think I've got more than another two. I've got a Schecter telly and a Westone Clipper, which is very telly-ish. And a tele ukulele. Oh god. Yeah, so this one I dug out last week, and I said in the video I did of it, so I'm going to put a tone control and a neck humbucker in it. I didn't put a tone control in it yet. I was sitting there going, I never used a tone control, and then I remembered after I'd done it. It's dead easy to do. I mean, I just drill a hole. It's a telly, so I can get in at it from the front. I was more for when if I was doing overdubbing with the bass. I think the tone control would be dead useful. Yeah, so as suspected, the neck normal 6-string humbucker thing works fine all the way across. Now, the thing I was worried about was, it's kind of quite close to the edge of the strings, but not really. You can see there is enough of an overhang of the magnet going under the strings, even though it's not as wide as the bridge pickup. So we've now got a neck pickup in it. The bridge pickup. The bridge pickup's an awfully shouty thing. Very brash. Kind of like a metal pickup. Even the neck in its own is a bit more rounded. I did some fancy wiring with the 3-way switch though as well. So in the middle it splits both of them into single coils, so it should be a more single coily sounding beast. I haven't changed the strings on it either, which is ridiculous. I was going to change the 6 because I've got a set of 6 strings, but then I didn't want it to be too different from the B string, which is a stupid idea. I need to buy strings for it. Though I will order them this week. Yeah, so 3 sounds on it now. With the rat pedal, it's meaty as it was before. Yeah, I think that's kind of what the bridge pickup, what the guitar's made for. I did actually look it up. They only made the PV Predator plus ST7 for 2000 and 2001. It's a hideous shaped thing, one of those just not really a shape guitars. Yeah, so I think more for metal, 2001 metal. The neck pickup is a little bit warmer. That's not really the same, is it? Bridge. It's actually not a bad match between the two. Yep, so one of the reasons I was looking this out, because thinking I should really have a JPAX telly, I'm wondering if this should be it. I never really quite finished this one. I think it plays an awful lot better than it did the last time I remember having it, but I think what happened is I looked it out, sort of continued the build. It was kind of always going to be getting a neck pickup, although I did like the idea of the single. It's nice to have the extra, especially having that sort of cleaner cleaner ability. So, yeah, so it's really nice compared to the bridge pickup on its own. I think it's basically, if you're going to be anything like clean, stay away from that bridge pickup. It's just too much. Yeah. So this one may, I don't know. See, the thing is, it's quite pretty, and I kind of do like the idea of it being pure super basic, as it doesn't even have finish on it. It doesn't need finish because it's treated wood, because it's from a joist. But and I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to do something with that. That's a bit of a silly heel join. I don't really know what I was thinking when I did that. I reckon I just never really finished it, because obviously I can cut that right back to there. It's not actually that bad, because you can play on the 12th fret, like base of the 12th fret, when you're only just touching it, which I think is kind of like what it is in a Tele anyway. But I can certainly make that a little bit rounder. I suppose I could do the edges. I don't know what to do with it. I want to learn to play it a little bit more. I'm kind of... It's really annoying the way it seemed, the 7 string, maybe it's just because of this bridge pickup. It just seems so... Oh. Just play that. You know, it seems to be so focused on... And you just appear to be able to play riffs of bands I've never even heard of, or tunes just by just playing power chords, but they're lower down. Even when you're playing like that, this is just like the A power chord. It's much more than a normal guitar, even though I'm not using the B. It's a much... I don't know what's going on there. I don't know if the thickness of the necks make a difference, but that does not sound just like playing a normal A chord. It's definitely much more... much more that in it. Also, I've just noticed there that sounds very like a fuzz. My rat's sounding like a fuzz. It's not the rat that's on, it's the pie fuzz. So it does actually sound like a fuzz. See, there, when you've got them both split, that's kind of more what I'd expect. It's quite a brutal sound, but it's much more like a normal guitar a wee bit. And then you start playing, is that Zero the Hero? Fun. Anyway, this is so I don't have to, well, not that I don't have to, but I quite like to do videos of them, but all the tellies you can see on the wall, my telly collection, as I said. So, first one you can see, I was talking about this the other week, this is recently discovered, I suppose it's a sort of update, so I've updated you on this one. This one, see, it doesn't have fret markings above the 12th, 15th, 17th. It doesn't have like a 19th and a 21st fret marking. Then in the 1974 catalogue, which that guitar there is in, it does have, from 1974 on, it does have dots on the 19th and the 21st. So I'm putting this as a 1973 Antoria made by Fujigen. You can tell these guitars, you've seen them in lots of different, you can get them with tons of different brands on the headstock, including Ibanez. It's in the Ibanez catalogue. Antoria is one, a sort of a British importer. You can always tell these because they've got, you'll see more of them, they're always this colour, only came in this colour. It's got like a Les Paul toggle switch, the volume and the tone are on, and so's the output jack on this metal plate. The bridge is this shape, so it's kind of the shape of the ashtray, but it doesn't have the ashtray. They weren't meant to come with it. They were meant to come with it. It's also got crazy looking saddles that are kind of just kind of bits of angle iron is what it looks like. I'm not doubting that they're original though. This would have been hidden by the cover, so they didn't bother making them look pretty. This one, as I said, has been modified by myself. I had a big hole in the middle cut out for another pickup, and neither of these pickups were original or working. So these are Mexican Geosonic pickups from my 2000s Mexican Geosonic, and this is from an Ibanez, but I put a funny cover on it, and it does a crazy wiring thing. Took me ages to find the right knobs. Decided it was white. I was going for an aesthetic thing here. That's why it's got like a cover on this. But this pickup ring is structural. It's holding the scratch plate together. It doesn't take a normal scratch plate. Annoyingly, when you put a normal scratch plate on it, it doesn't cover up the hole that's been taken out with a chisel for this pickup. Also, when you push pull it, you've got a push pull tone and a volume. When you do the tone, it puts this in series with one of the coils of this, which makes a sort of wide range humbucker, and then the volume does the neck. Something's not right. Oh, it's got a screw in it. Okay. Shouldn't have just pulled it off. Right. So, number one, and as I said, only available in that colour. Fujigen, I think. This is my new one, which I'm only going to talk about for 2 seconds because I was playing it last week. I did a video of it the other week. This is the CSL. Basically exactly the same guitar, but a couple of years later. The other model, this one available only in black. This is a Tele Custom, and the Japanese had started copying a little bit more precisely with this one. Very similar feeling neck though. It's the same. It's obviously the same maker. Yeah. So original Maxon pickups dated to 1974. Lovely guitar, beautiful. Actually, kind of really liking the matching, and they're both the same number. Is it? At model 2352 or something, so that's a 2352 and that's a 2352 custom or a 2352C, something like that. Yep, so here's another one. Another one of the Joist ones, obviously made it at the same time as this and the Shockingbird. The Shockingbird might have been earlier, but only by a couple of weeks. So this one I got this neck in a set. Well, I like the way it's actually a genuine Fender Telecaster. You would never. It looks perfect, doesn't it? Yes, so again, 2 bits of joist stuck together. This one I drew around a Telecaster, obviously, and this is a Washburn Stage series for just this bit, because the Shockingbird turned out so well. That's basically the same idea, but with a BC Rich Mockingbird. This is when I was going through the phase of I like the idea of having a single pickup guitar. Because I'd kind of always wanted one, and then ended up with I started making them and then ended up buying a couple. I ended up with 6 at the same time. So I get fed up with single pickup guitars. This has got it's pickup from a 1980 Dean Cadillac. One pickup at an angle. It's got a hardtail bridge. It's through strung. I've not made a back cavity cover for it yet. I've not really even sanded it either. And that's like a hip shot type bridge. These bridges used to be dead cheap and they're dead good. And it's even got perloid buttons on the tuners. I like this. It's a strange one. It's not as extreme as the Shockingbird, which I'll get to. That's a fantastic beast. I think this neck's a Behringer. It's alright. It's not. So another possibility for a J-Paxi one, but again, I kind of like the absolute minimalist thing here. See, I did with the volume. I've just got a volume. I think that's pretty sure that's got push pull. It does. So that's a coil split for this, and I've got a Strat output socket I put on it. I think that looks pretty cool. Is that a minimalist? It's not very often you see a Strat output socket looking right. I do remember this actually playing pretty well. Again, this could do with a little bit of I think I cut these out very quickly. A wee bit of carving round about there, and I'd also probably that big knot filled, and possibly having a neck plate that doesn't have 2 extra holes drilled in it for a reason. No, interesting one. So I don't know. These things could be worth money one day. It's different. I need to try putting strings on it and see if it actually works. I remember it being all right. Just had the Shockingbird, so it kind of put it off a little bit. This video's going to end up being really long. I think I might put down this one that I'm carrying around my waist, because the next one's a heavy one. We're doing 15 minutes. I can still keep talking for another 10 minutes. Oh, this is made out of my old bedroom door. So someone was talking to me actually before the other day about a Fishman Power Bridge. You know, basically, so you can get an acoustic sounds in your, well, you get like a Strat version. I've got one in my Schecter. But the thing about that is, quite a lot of the acoustic sound is having acoustic strings on it. So you want acoustic strings and an acoustic pickup, and then it really has to go into an acoustic amp. So that, if you're playing it on one guitar and you've got like the Fishman Power Bridge, you've got to have electric strings on it, aren't you? So you kind of lost a good chunk of the acousticness because you've got electric strings on it. And then you have to switch it on the floor to come through like a PA or an acoustic amp, so it'll sound pish coming through your Marshall. So basically what you do is you just end up with two of them. So this is an acoustic. It's got like a wee... So not active, it's just passive, but it's got wee volume sliders there. And the black output socket is for the acoustic neck. The electric neck in below, which is the left-handed neck. That's why the headstock goes the other way. Got an Artec hot rail on the bridge. That's a coil split and a volume and a tone for it. This one, I kind of like the idea. There's definitely a position for it. I don't know what it is. It is actually semi-hollow, so it's a thin line. I was well aware of the balance problem you always have with double necks. They're always a nightmare. This one, kind of... It's not bad. It does have a wee bit of a tendency to sort of fall forward, but see, I've got the strap going on there. It does hold in, it's a reasonably good position. It's actually quite a comfortable position to play. It's not that bad. It doesn't really weigh that much because it's hollow. So what I did was, this is kitchen worktop again, but it's the thinner stuff. It's like 38mm. Normally it's 45. So basically I built a skeleton with the neck on it and the bits to leave the bridge, and then jigsawed it out. So it's kind of hollow all the way around. So that's not like a thin line. It's, you know, it's not just this bit that's hollow. This is all solid though. I left all that solid from behind the bridges to try and compensate for the weight. Pretty clever, eh? So all this bit's hollow, like here. All this bit here is all hollow. So it's like there's a wee bit there, there's a sort of structural bit there to hold the neck, structural bit there to hold the neck, but it's hollow all the way through. And then I took the sepia panels off my old bedroom door, which has been this has got like 40-year-old varnish on it. And then just peeled the outsides off and stuck them back and forth, back and front, like a kind of like a Dan Electro. I think that's what Dan Electros are built. So it's kind of, I just get it. Well, it's MDF or whatever, or hardboard. So it's kind of a Dan Electro, really. This one I shouldn't have really thought about it that way, but it is. It's totally a Dan Electro. And it worked. I seem to remember it working quite well. It's just you kind of need somewhere to play an acoustic and an electric at the same time, and you need to have two amps. Or I suppose if you're in the studio, you just stick one into the PA. This one, this neck's not sounding very good. It's a bit spanky, but the action's so low on it. It's pretty easy to switch between them for your acoustic bit. I was very careful when I was doing this to make sure that the frets lined up, so when you're looking down it, it's totally 12th fret. The two of them line up perfectly like that. But a fun guitar. I just need a band that's going to be playing that. I need to play an acoustic and electric, and I would actually put a bit of effort into making this thing work a bit better. The acoustic neck works really well. I wonder if it's just... I think last time I had... See, the thing is, these are in a sort of rotation every year. I dig them out, and then it's like... And I do some work on them. So I think last time I've actually made this acoustic work properly. I remember it having an issue. Oh, I remember sticking a bit of wood in there now. The thing that never really worked was the piezo bridge, which it now does work because I now remember fixing it, but I didn't get onto the electric neck. So possibly just strings and a bit of a clean, and it'll be running. Ideally, I'd never really finished it. That's just bare wood, but it's got, I don't know. Again, what'd you do with these things? There's not really any reason for having it, but I had to see whether it was possible or not, and it does work. Quite a good idea, if I do say so myself. Right, we're moving around. Telecasters. You know my Fuji Gen. I'll not be long with this one. This is my new guitar. It's 2019, so as new as they get. Fuji Gen, Japan. Got to say circle frets. Next, another one I made. This is a much earlier guitar than the other joist one. This one isn't joist. This one is kitchen worktop. So it's a Stag short scale neck, 30-inch. I reshaped the headstock to make it into a coffin shape. Put 6 tuners on it. That bridge says Fender on it. I don't think it will be. That's an Ibanez Roadster. So that's a Super 5 pickup, I think. I seem to remember. Took me ages to find a pickup because I wanted one that didn't, that was, the same flat on the top and the bottom, rather than having, how not a pickup's normally got like a sort of tab bit where the wires go, so it's not flat. I didn't want that. I wanted it to be a straight bar. Yeah, this has got funny wiring in it. In fact, it's got a 5-way switch, volume and a tone, and the output socket on the front. So it's bridge pickup, normal middle, normal 3, neck pickup, these two in series, I think, and then this one with an extra tone cap wedged on, something like that. I can't really remember. But this is a bass. This is a Fender 6 style bass, which the strings on it were absolutely hideous, and my pal Ian bought a Squire 6-string bass, and it was really, really, really buzzy and shit, and it was like, because the strings were too thin, so he bought bigger strings. I put them on it, and the strings I had in this were pure awful, so I took the ones that are too thin, put them on this, and it's made it very buzzy. So actually, it just doesn't feel unlike the 7-string one now that I played it. It's just that string is not thick enough. The E's alright. So I really just need a thicker, whatever that is. What would it normally be in a bass? Like a 105 or something like that. Maybe I probably just need a 105 string for that, and that would bring the whole thing up. But I've been looking for these basses forever. It's like, see the stag basses you always see, they're kind of modern shaped, not really very interesting. They're good. They look hideous, but they're actually decent quality basses. There was always a short scale one as well, and you never see the short scale one. I actually bought this neck in Milton Campsie before I lived here, just a couple hundred yards up the road. I bought a whole bass, threw away the body, because I was going to build a Fender 6. This is before Squire made one. I used to make guitars that I couldn't. This is before I knew you could buy Japanese guitars. I just thought, I'll just make these. And the thing is, there's quite a lot of it, beginner's mistakes. It's got 6 bolts holding on the neck. I can't remember why, but there's a reason for it. But it's through strung, solid beach. This one's worktop oiled. I mean, it's actually a worktop, so this will go on forever. But it's a surprisingly easy to play guitar, and it's actually better than probably better than a real Fender 6 as well. As been better than the Squire one, because it's got a really thick nut. It's really wide. Not super really mega wide, but the one on a Squire Fender 6 or a Fender 6 is like thinner than a jazz bass. It's like it's super thin, so the strings are like really, really close together. This one, the strings are closer together than they are on a guitar, but not, at least it's a full width nut. It's like, I don't know, it's like 44mm or something like that, instead of like 36 or whatever it is a jazz bass is. But it kind of puts you off the Squire one or the Fender one. It's like 46mm wide nut, whereas I'm pretty sure that a jazz, it's like 36. It's like an extra 10mm. It's a huge gulf of a difference there where you can actually play down here. This one's tuned E to E. It would probably work much better tuned to the baritone B to B with baritone strings on it. Though I think, see what's happened, because these strings are slightly lighter, it's kind of able to play chords. So I think the heavier gauge strings that I had on it meant that the B string worked, or the low string didn't fart, but all the tension was up a bit, which made it a bit more bassy and a bit less being able to play, to get a nice ring out of it. Anyway, yes. So again, don't know what to do with that. Don't really want to J-Packs it, because what's the point when it's actually, again, going for the minimalist thing. I'd even got my name on the headstock and a bit of a veneer to hide the holes where the bass tuners were. I'm going to start moving really quick here, so this video isn't all day. Shit. At least that was my pedal. It was my Bucky pedal. Well, sod it. Yeah, Washburn Tour 24. I've seen these before as BBR models with red binding and red bits. This is a extremely rare 1984, did I say? 84 BBR that isn't BBR. It's white instead. The bridges in these were atrocious. This one has a Yamaha SG 1500 bridge in it, which was in it when I got it. I need to. It's very. I've got it set very. You can actually hear that's how much it's bended back. So I really need to try and set that to float at some point. Again, this is one I was thinking of J-Paxing, but I just don't want to do it. This guitar doesn't feel as heavy as I remember it to feel. I remember it just being utterly heavy. I think it might be the strap. Look at that strap. It's like about 6-inch wide leather. I think the strap might actually be making this guitar feel heavier than it actually is. Yeah, interesting. This one, the front had been smashed, so I put this shouldn't have a Telecaster plate on it. It should be like a Les Paul switch and a volume and a tone. So I put in a blade switch. These pickups, Washburn Eliminator, annoyingly aren't coil splittable. So this is my Tele, which never sounds like a Tele because it's got two massive humbuckers in it and a Floyd Rose. It doesn't have any coil splitty options, and they're sealed units, so I can't break into them and add them. That's annoying. I like the idea of having like a pushy pull thing going on. Oh, this one, which I'm going to sell. I keep selling, but I've not found the right person to buy it yet. This is a through neck, one of only 48 ever made Eastwood monolith. The headstock has been sanded. It's meant to be black, so whoever it was that sanded it, must have taken ages to do it, has sanded the headstock but left the original logo on, which looks a bit odd. So it's a bit bizarre having like a maple fretboard but a painted black neck. It's a through neck. It's got if you look these up, there's videos from whatever year it was at the NAMM show in 2010 or 5 or whatever it was. And this is meant to be the new thing with this. This is the monolith, and this pickup is called the monolith. It's the biggest electric guitar pickup ever. It says on that NAMM thing, although I'm pretty sure I've seen bigger. It's like a P90 and a single coil, and below it's full of resin, so you can't get in at it. It's a Kent Armstrong pickup. It's interesting. So you get 3 sounds. You get, and they've got funny names. Is it Steam Hammer and Ice Pick and Cement Mixer or something like that? So you basically, what I reckon you get is P90, bridge P90 with the single coil, so you get like a bridge humbucker, and then the other one is like in series and the other one's in parallel or something. Don't really know, but I need to sell this, but I need to try and sell it over a wider range. I don't like selling things on eBay, but it's the sort of thing that somebody's going to totally want this. It's just that nobody from here wants it. You know, I need to cast a wider neck. Is it? I'm going to say. Yeah. Then we're at the Shocking Bird. The last one. Well, the last one, I suppose. I'll do the last one second to last time. This is the original Malcocaster. You can see that I wrote Malcocaster on the headstock. This was, my pal was throwing out this hideous orange neck because there was a big chip. When he'd taken the tuners off, he'd forgotten to take it. There's a big massive chunk out it, which I super glued back in again. And so I had a neck. The tuners on it are terrible. I'm going to change them. It's just 2 bits of wood. These aren't even doweled together or anything, just wood glued together. I didn't even play any edges, so it's literally just 2 bits of wood that I found lying in the garage when I was messing about with a jigsaw. And I thought, how hard can it be to make a guitar? Turned out it wasn't hard at all. All these bits were just borrowed off folk. But a surprisingly alright guitar, apart from the tuners, which are terrible, but I've always known they were terrible. I just never bothered making it work. This is an ESP pickup, which is a hot rail, but one of the rails doesn't work anymore. But I've just got it in it because it's obviously not worth any money. And this is a BC Rich bridge pickup in the neck. I don't know where I got that either, but it's bolted to the body. The print, you can see my principles were to try and. I figured that this bit's probably going to snap and fall off, so the whole guitar's built on this one piece of wood, and then this bit's stuck on. Basically only held on with that scratch plate screw, so I reckon if you just went like that, bang, you could probably split it in half, maybe, I don't know. It's held this long, I even engraved the back. Built September 2010, serial number 0001. I even left it so you can see the actual writing on the original piece of wood this came from. So basically it just needs new tuners. I'll maybe do that. And the bridge pickup, although it's only a single coil, that's all you need. That's what that switch would have done. And we need to make the switch do something else, or maybe put a wee tone control in. Again, it's just got the output jack on the front, so I didn't have to do any extra work. Didn't do a particularly good job of drawing around a Tele with this one. This isn't in the right shape, but and it's a wee bit fatter here and thinner there than it should be. But if you're going to build a guitar, buy a Tele, or even no, buy a Strat, and then like a crappy Strat, a boring one, and then throw it away the body and use all the parts and make a Tele with it. That's the way to do it. And then the last but definitely not the least one is the Shocking Bird. Even seeing I just picked it up there, it's just. It's possible it's just a better piece of wood. I don't know. This is just like, wow, here we go. As soon as I picked it up, it's just a different quality level to all the other ones. Even though still made by the same person, me. So this neck I got out of the same guy's bin. It's a fresher, which I didn't know at the time. I just assumed it was a cheapy one that was thrown out because the headstock had come off it. And he had this great idea of like, how difficult it is to bend a hacksaw blade. Like lengthways. Like, okay, yeah, it's pretty strong, and obviously it bends that way easily, but so this has basically got hacksaw blades recessed in to strengthen that joint. So basically I just made this out it. I was sitting there with a big cardboard box, and I drew down a Telecaster, and I drew down a Mockingbird, and as soon as I drew it, it was like, I just drew that, and I was like, that I have to have one of them. And then I went for super simple wiring. It's got a single coil pickup, a volume, or an output. It's an air vent. It's still lying about. There's a gold P90, dog ear P90 I've got kicking about that would sit in there nicely, and that would give me 3 sounds like a P90, and that technically is a P90 sort of, as in it was in, like, see when you get pickups that are like humbucker sized P90s. Well, I bought one of my Washburns had one of them, had them fitted in at like single coils in a Washburn Stage Series. No, so I took them out, and because they were gold, I was going to try and clean them, take the wee plastic bit off the top. I took them to bits, and it was just a single coil in the middle. I was like, so it was a P90, so I don't know if it's wired differently, got a different magnet. I basically just, so I had a humbucker back plate. I cut that with the angle grinder, drilled new holes, and made it into a Telecaster pickup. Yeah, I've actually got brass saddles I want to put this. I've got fancy having a go at making, the compensated ones. I'm thinking I could probably just make them with the angle grinder, just cutting up normal ones. Maybe, I don't know. But this guitar's just, and even the tuners are a wee bit silly. See, I've got the string butler thing on it, which is basically bass ball ends, like a wee roller. It's just a ball end off a bass string with a screw through the middle of it. And the tuners are gold skulls, gold washers, black tuners, and I just painted this red because it was the only colour paint I had. So it's got a red neck. It's also got this scoop because the only neck bolts I could find weren't quite long enough. I was like, so I just thought I'll just make the body a bit thinner there for high fret access. But I've actually gigged this thing. It's totally amazing. Wow. The thing that this got on its side, as opposed to some of the other ones as well, is this one's been played an awful lot more because I really liked it. It's just so comfortable and easy, and it's so Telecaster-y, even though it's not a Telecaster. It's the most Telecaster ever. So obviously it's also short scale, well, not short scale, it's Gibson scale because it's a Gibson neck. There you go, half an hour of talking about Telecasters. If you want to see any of these before they go in the vault, give me a shout and I'll do a wee demo video on them. I kind of want to play this one. Rock on.